Hello there and welcome to today's Powerful Purpose Master Class. My name is Dan Gentry and I will be talking with you over the next 45 minutes to an hour, and I'm really looking forward to sharing some great information with you. One thing that I would ask though is that take some time. Take this 45 minutes to an hour and really absorb it. So turn off your email, turn off notifications on your phone, close your door, and give yourself some real time. Take this time for you and really make the best of it. Also, at the end, we will be doing a question and answer, so please feel free to type in a question into the chat as you go along, and we will cover those at the end of our session today. So what are we here for? Really, in my company, Third Power Performance, we have something we call Life to the Third Power, where we all want like a better life. But for me, I want for you not just a good life, but a great life. Life to the third power, to really take things up to the next level. And really, we're talking about, what is life all about? And no, it's not the hokey pokey. And feel free to groan about bad humor. You're going to have bad humor and some science. Just saying. So why are you here today? Well, there are probably a number of reasons. One, you're a high achiever that's looking for that extra edge. You've already accomplished a lot, but you still want to achieve more. Or perhaps you're overstressed. You're putting out fires so fast and so constantly that you've thought about changing your career to be an actual fireman. Or perhaps you're missing out on the good stuff of life. Think back. When was the last time you took a real vacation? No, no answering the phone for work, no looking at work emails, none of that kind of stuff. When was the last time that happened? And if it wasn't recently, we want to do that. Or perhaps you just have unrealized goals, or just feel off target, and it's like you're playing darts and the dartboard keeps moving. It's just a challenge. So why are you here today? Are you looking for that extra edge, missing out, just want more balance, or something else? If you just want to type that into the chat, and let's see what we have out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Definitely have, definitely some stressed people out there. That's all I can say. All right. So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, one, we're going to talk a little bit about, my story and the foundation concept that I use in my programs. We're also then going to be talking about the Life to the Third Power framework. It's how I turned everything around and how you really can too. And then we're going to talk about the secret formula, the magic that will make this your breakthrough moment. Even if you've tried other programs before, even if you've done other things before, and it hasn't worked out, today's the day. And then we'll move into our Q&A. So how did I get here? What was my journey to this? Well, it all started with the young executive. Oh, when I had hair. Will you look at that? This was around 1998, 99. Blackberries were just coming out. I had that little device right there attached to my hip all the time. And really, it enabled the 24-hour email cycle to be everywhere. Before that, you had to have a laptop, you had to turn on your computer, you had to go to your desk to get email. Well, now it was right there with you. And my boss would send me an email at like 3 in the morning, and he'd have an answer back at 3:05. And he was the same way. I'd send him one at 4 in the morning, I'd get an answer at 4:03. It was all the time, always on, constant, essentially being on call 24 hours a day for 6 years. Well, I remember when I had my epiphany. Now, in the job that I was in, I flew out to Denver quite frequently. I don't know if you've been there. This is kind of a picture of Denver downtown. And I was in one of those tall buildings there up on the 11th floor. And, I didn't have an office, so they put me in this other VP's office with, a little computer in front of the windows, and I was checking my 300 to 400 emails that would come in that weren't worth waking up at 4 in the morning for. And I was like, I need some coffee. I walk out to get a cup of coffee. I walk back in, and I kind of stopped dead in my tracks, because out the windows was very similar to the view that you see here. Crystal clear blue skies, snow-capped Rocky Mountains. It was a gorgeous view right outside the window, and I had missed it. I hadn't seen it. It was right there. All I had to do would be to look from my computer, just look over the top of it. There it was. And I hadn't seen it. I was so focused on email and work and all of this. And, I was successful. I was the director of internet technologies. I was important. And yet, I had missed out on this beautiful experience. I closed my computer. I sat back and really started contemplating my life. And what was I doing? And I realized that while, yes, I was successful financially and in the business world, my spiritual life was non-existent. My family life was going down the drain. I didn't get time with my kids. I didn't take care of my body. I mean, essentially, all of the important parts of life I had been ignoring in this chase after success. And I realized that, I got to fix that. And so I started on this quest to try to find a way to fix my life and get my life back in balance. Unfortunately, I didn't make it. I ran out of time. The bills came due for all of the things that I had been putting off. In essentially a 3-month period, separated from my wife, and a divorce began. And interesting side note, when I was looking for a picture to denote divorce, a lot of them were just these little broken heart. Well, it was a jagged heart. It was that kind of divorce, if you know what I'm saying. It was not pretty. It's just not pretty at all. And then a month later, I was laid off from my job. I wasn't important anymore. And, I went from making, 6 figures and nice money to making 5 figures if you included the penny, the cents, zeros. And just if you ever feel lonely, and you feel like you wish somebody would call you, try missing a couple of payments. People call you; they really want to talk to you. It's amazing. They're just not very pleasant conversations. And then a month later, my father passed away. So here was these three things. I had friends that would call me and go, Dan, if somebody gets a divorce or loses their job or has a parent die, you worry about them, and you're doing all 3 at the same time. Are you okay? And there was a while where that answer to that was questionable, but I use humor as kind of my coping mechanism, and I always used to say that God will never test us beyond our capacity. I just wish He didn't trust me so much. But through this, I realized that how fleeting life is, and how you really need to find what's important in life. And for me, I wanted to find out, what is my legacy? How do I want to be remembered? And how do I make sure that I stay focused on the important parts of life? And that I did my search. And my background is in software development. For business, I look for a pattern and find a solution that will solve that pattern. That's what I did professionally. And I kept seeing a pattern showing up over and over again in my search for life balance and for a phenomenal life. So when I was thinking, okay, what does life balance look like? Well, okay. Well, first I need to take care of myself, to have my self-mastery, have myself in good shape. That's my relationships with, friends, family, coworkers, etc. And then it's all the stuff. Like, okay. Now for self-mastery, for taking care of myself, what does that really look like? Well, it's, spirit, foundation of spirit. I've got my mental framework, my mind that I'm working through, and then of course, my body, the physical side of it. And I was reminded of something that I learned in other studies of self-improvement, is the be, do, have. If you want to have certain things, you've got to do certain things to get them, but to really do those things well, you have to be a certain kind of person. And I'm like, there's this pattern, this kind of foundation, a framework, and then a manifestation, that it all kind of works together. And then one day I was in church, and to be honest, I wasn't really paying attention, and because I had this stuff going around in my head, and I thought, you have this same pattern in Christianity, where it's the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Well, the foundation is God the Father. It's the kind of foundation of everything. The Holy Spirit was his framework, how he moved and did things in the universe. And then his Son, Jesus, was kind of that manifestation of God on earth. So it's that same pattern again. And then I'm a science geek, a physics geek, math geek, big time. And I found this awesome quote by Nikola Tesla that says, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And it was like, okay, here's that same pattern again. The foundation of everything is energy. The way that energy moves through the universe is with its frequency. And a vibration is literally the physical manifestation of that frequency. It's like, it made sense. That was kind of that eureka moment. Just, wow, okay, this really makes sense. As an aside, just if you actually, for Nikola Tesla, I don't know if you're that familiar with him, but incredible guy, look him up. But if you steal a Tesla, does it become an Edison? Just kidding. All the geeks in the audience will be laughing at that. All right, so this was my eureka moment. It's my atomic triad. This is the foundation of everything that I teach, and that you'll see over and over again throughout this program, this same triad, the same concept. It's, everything has a foundation, whether it's in human, the be, or if it's, in religion or in physics, you look at the states of matter, solid, liquid, and gas. It's all right there. So everything, the foundation, everything has a framework. That's how you get stuff done. And then the manifestation is, how does that manifest itself in the world? And it was amazing. And it kind of all fell together. I started using this concept in my life, and my life kind of came together. I was able to, have that amazing life. I mean, this is my family, and, I do, I'm working a lot, starting, having a business is definitely a lot of time and energy. I'm in Toastmasters. I'm the Cub Scout leader for Cub Scouts. I'm on student advisory boards for several different schools. I'm on advisory councils for colleges. There's lots and lots of stuff going on, and yet I don't feel stressed out very much. Everything works, everything's in balance. I've got my system down where it all works together. So it's I love my life, and I use the tools that I'm sharing with you here every single day. I was able to use these concepts to do a technology startup. I had my own technology company, apps that are out there that are being used, and I use these same foundation, framework, manifestation concepts to make that successful. For me, the real test of a system, though, is not when everything's going good. I mean, when life is good and you've got clients galore and the finances are good, everything's wonderful, it's easy to be happy, air quotes. But what happens when things go south? As they always will, life is ups and downs. Well, this is an x-ray of my wife's leg. She broke her leg in, a couple of years ago in June. At karate, we were trying to come up with some cool story, like she was stopping bank robbers or something like that, but really she was just jumping over some foam pads at karate and landed wrong. But we went from, her doing essentially all of the domestic duties, which there are tons of, and me doing all of the things that I've already outlined, to suddenly it was just me. I was doing all the stuff that I talked about, plus being Mr. Mom and Mr. Nurse. So I was nurse, I was cook, I was clean, I did laundry, I did, all of the chauffeuring. My wife, she broke her right leg, so she couldn't even drive. So I had to do kind of everything, and it was like, okay, life is fun now. But it was all right. Let's go back to our, the core program. What do I need to do? What do I not need to do? Let's look at our priorities. What's my legacy? What's my map? Check it all out. How do I need to rearrange life so that this still works? And after a week or so of a little bit of turmoil, life was back to a schedule. Now, the house was not as clean as it was when my wife did it. Granted, ironing definitely did not, but it just didn't happen. Let's just put it that way. So there were things that weren't as wonderful as they would have been with both of us, but life moved on pretty well. So, but what about other people? And here's a chiropractor that I work with, Dr. Brooke, amazing, and I was able to work with her in her business to actually, she's seeing continued growth, it's positive energy, everything is really looking up for her because she's been applying the stuff that I helped her with. So this is Third Power Performance, my company. It is my legacy. It's the outcropping of those difficult times that I went through, and this is what I love to do. What I'm doing right now, I absolutely love it. I get to share what I've learned with you, and just I love life. It's fun, fantastic. But you're probably saying, okay, that's great. That's you. Well, what about me? All right. Well, a couple of things that I want to, before we jump into how you can make this happen in your life, a couple of myths that I want to go over, and they're deadly because they seem like they're true. The first is that work and life are separate concepts. You hear a lot about work-life balance. Like somehow work is not part of life. That's just, it's crazy. We spend, at least half of our waking hours at work, many of us. So you can't separate those things out. You have to find a way to integrate it and make it all work. The other is that once you find equilibrium, you're done. That, okay, well, I've got my balance, I've got my schedule for Monday through Friday, I'm good. It doesn't work that way. If you've ever seen somebody up on the high wire, right, and they're up there, they're balancing, doing the balance wire and all of that, well, they're not standing still. There's constant adjustments and little things moving here and there. So you're not going to just, this is the way it is. but it's a method to it. The other is that I need to wake up early. I need to wake up at 5 a.m. to get everything done. Yeah, a lot of times on my live presentations, I'll say, all right, how many people in here wish they had more than 24 hours in a day? And invariably, 75% of the room raises their hand. And I'm like, no, you don't. You would just fill it with other stuff. It's sort of like the people that win the lottery. People just think they need more money. In reality, they just need more money management. Anyway, I digress. The other is that I just need a better time management system. Time management helps, but so often in our time management, we're managing the wrong stuff for our time. All right, so what are the keys for life to the third power? Well, it's life balance, life map, and life legacy. Those three pieces, and you have a successful, meaningful life. If you're missing any piece of that, if you don't have life and balance, you're constantly under stress. You're putting out fires. There's always something something going on that needs emergency attention because life's not in balance. If you don't have a clear life map, if you don't have your goals set, and here's really where I'm going, you're kind of lost. You're just wandering aimlessly. And if you don't have a life legacy, life really doesn't have any meaning. If you're not, you can achieve everything, you can make the money, you can have the nice car, the nice house, but it's like, is this all there is to life? So you have to have all three in order to be successful. And that's where my life triad helps kind of bring that together. Foundation is life balance. The framework is life map, and the manifestation is your legacy. It's what do you manifest in life. Now, each of these does have their own kind of triad. Just because of the amount of time we have, we're not going to go deep on all of these, but I do want to at least touch on it for you so you can see where you need to go. So what do you experience in life? Are you constantly under stress? Do you feel like you're lost, kind of going in circles? Or that there's just a lack of meaning in life? Is this all there is? Well, we're here to help you with that. So let's talk a little bit about life balance. Again, this is where I started. This is the kind of the cornerstone of what I do and what I talk about is the importance. It's so important to have balance in life, because when your life is not in balance, life is so stressful. You're constantly, I feel like this guy a lot, where I'm juggling home and exercise and money and all of this, except for me, it always used everything in there was on fire. It's always something crazy going on. So that's why I have my life balance triad. Our foundation is self-mastery, because you have to have yourself in order before you can really do anything else. Our framework is our interpersonal. It's our relationships with other people and how we interact and where we spend time. And then, of course, the material prosperity, which is where a lot of times we spend most of our time, and yet in the grand scheme of things is actually the least important. Now, each of these breaks down into their own foundation, framework, and manifestation. Self-mastery, the foundation is spiritual. Who are you really? What's your philosophy? What's your guiding principles? Because that's going to determine everything else in life. Is who are you really? And what do you believe really? And if you don't know, seek it out. Try to find what is it that I really believe. Then of course our mental framework, it's our mind. We constantly need to be feeding our minds and learning about ourselves, about other things, about our emotions. All of that is encapsulated there. And then of course our physical bodies, that's literally the manifestation of self-mastery, is how are we health-wise? Are we doing what we need to do to be healthy and to have a long, comfortable life, not just a long existence? For our relationships, the foundation is family, family and close friends. You know, this is where we learn our relationships, and this is where it's that foundation that we lean on for so many things. And then, of course, the framework of our relationships is our friends, you know, friends and associates at work, and you know, this is the network that we pull on to have success and happiness and fulfillment in life, literally. And then, of course, there's others, the people we don't know. And for me, it's where philanthropy lives, is how are we making the world a better place? I remember I had a guidance counselor in middle school that pulled me aside when I was 12, and he asked, Dan, what do you think the world owes you? I'm like, I don't know. You know, 12-year-old, I don't know. And he's like, you know what? The world doesn't owe you anything. You were given life. You were given that gift. And it's up to you to return that. So it's not, the world doesn't owe you anything. You owe the world. And I remember that had a huge impact on me. That, you know, it was my job to make the world a better place for me having been here. And even in Scouts, we talk about that. We have to leave a place better than we found it. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, is I'm trying to make the world a better place, one person, one webinar, one class at a time. Because I want the world, I want your life and the world to be better. Material prosperity, the foundation is our finances. I call it our financial education. And you know, this is, you know, your financial statement. How is your budget? What's your investments? You know, when we were kids in school, we got report cards every 9 weeks. Big grade every semester. Interim reports every 4.5 weeks, right? Well, as adults, we don't get report cards from school anymore. But we do have a report card. You know, for better or worse, in our world, our report card is our financial statement. And you need to be checking it about the same as your grades in school, every 4.5 weeks, 9 weeks, you know, every quarter, because you don't want to get to be 50 years old and say, you know, I should probably check my grades, and oh, look, I have an F in investing. I have a D in retirement. It's not a good time. You need to be checking so that you have time to fix those. Our income, that's how we make our money. That's our job. It's our business. And we constantly need to be working on ways to improve ourselves and to improve our business, so that we, you know, the more value you bring to the market, the higher your return, your income will be. And then, of course, expenses. Expenses is actually an interesting one because that's all our stuff. But this is actually one of the larger drains on life balance, is all of the things that we have. And I like to say that everything that you own also owns you, because everything that you own, you have to expend energy, time, and money maintaining that. You know, your car, you've got to fuel it, you've got to clean it, you've got to pay for it. Your house, even the paintings on the wall or decorations around the house, you have to clean them. You have to make sure they don't get broken, you know. And I think we probably all have that drawer in the kitchen, you know, the one I'm talking about, that has like everything in it. And it's just, every time you look at it, you're like, I need to just organize this and clean it out. And that takes time. And there are some of us that have we have that drawer. It's called the garage. You know, there are some people that actually put cars in garages. I've seen others that the only car you could get in them would be a Matchbox. But anyway. So where is your biggest challenge? Is it in self-mastery? Is it with your relationships, or is it on kind of the material prosperity side of things? Well, here's my kind of my action plan for you is, three little things. Take some time for reflection. If you want to call it prayer, meditation, take some quiet time and really reflect on life. Feed your mind. What you're doing here today is, amazing stuff for your brain. Keep doing that. And then, exercise and eat right. Take care of your body because you only get one. Take time for family. Call your friends and really call them, not just on Facebook. Actually connect. Go to coffee. Spend some quality time. And then be of service. Changing the world doesn't have to be creating a Gates Foundation, right? It can be opening the door for somebody. It can be volunteering with kids, doing scouts, volunteering at your school. But make the world a better place. And then lastly, material, do a financial statement. For years, I didn't do one because I didn't want to know what it would say. I didn't want to see it. It's like if I don't look at the credit card bills, they don't exist. No, it doesn't work that way. And then constantly be increasing your skills and create an inventory of your stuff. A life map. The life map's all about goals and where are you heading in life. And we don't want to be on that bridge in our lives, because if you don't have a map, you're going to end up lost. And that's not a good place to be. Forever, that was my GPS device, a little Etch-a-Sketch. Just, okay, let's go this way. How about let's try that? Let's try this. That's not a way to be. The life map triad is about it's defining what you want. What are your dreams and goals? And then refine those. Put them into a framework that you can actually work on and execute. And then, of course, do it. So many times coming up with the dreams and goals is easy. Oh yeah, I want the big house. I want the nice things. I want the trips. I want to travel. Refining it, coming up with a list. All right, well, here are the things that I need to do to get there. That's a little easier. It's a little harder, but we can still do it. And then when it comes to actually doing it, it's like New Year's resolutions. We've got all these great things that we want to do. We figure out, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to work out. I'm going to eat better. And then we do that for a couple of days, and then, okay, well, maybe we'll do something else. So the execution is where it really, really falls down. So your action plan here is really simple. Come up with a list of dreams and dream big. Don't just, as adults, we sometimes lose the ability to dream big. So do that. And then figure out how you can do it. Break it down. And here, do 3 little things every day that will take you towards where you want to be. And I tell people, do a couple of things every day that are not mandated by your boss or by where you live or where you work, but do something that will get you something that you really want out of life, something on your bucket list, and make some progress towards that every single day. So, I like to ask people, what's your map status? Are you stuck in a rut? You just, home to work, home to work, home to work, home to work, and that's it? Sometimes we dream, but we don't really have any plans for those, or we set goals, but we really don't do it. Or, and maybe you might be doing fine. You might have a map, but you just want to find a better path. You feel like you're kind of meandering a little bit more than you need to. So where do you want to be? All right, life legacy. This was the hardest for me personally, was coming up with, why am I here? what do I really want out of life? And the thing is that without that clear legacy, life is kind of meaningless. I mean, I had the nice car, I had the nice house, I had a nice bank account, but what now? Okay, okay, get another nice car. No, why am I here? What's my gift, right? And so what I want for you to find is I want you to find what's your purpose. So define what does ultimate success look like in all areas of life balance. So what does it mean to be ultimately successful spiritually and mentally and physically, with your finances, with your family, with all of those different pieces, and find what's the common theme that goes with that to help create that legacy statement that really inspires and motivates you, makes you want to get up in the morning. Not, oh, it's Monday, I don't want to do Mondays. No, I get up on Monday and I'm excited because I'm building a legacy here. So the questions that you need to be able to answer is, why are you here? What is your gift? We all have gifts. What are the gifts that you bring? And how are you making the world a better place with those gifts? This is something that I like spending a lot of time on with people when I do my coaching is, why are you here? What is your gift and how are you making the world a better place? Like I said, for me, this was a really hard, hard thing to come up with in my own life. And I find that when people do find that amazing things happen. Enough with the rainbows and Skittles. I was doing a seminar a while back, and I kind of got done at the end, and the girl's like, you know what? Enough with the rainbows and Skittles. What about the real world? I have deadlines. I have things that I have to get done. I've got a project that has to get done by next week, so I'm working the weekend. How does all this stuff help with that? It sounds great, but what about the real world? And I'm like, you know what? That's a very good question, because I've been through enough of these programs to know that, you know what? Yeah, it sounds really good and balance sounds fantastic, but how do I actually do that? So I decided to take a couple of tips that I talk about in my programs and actually give those to you here and see if that can't help. The first is I tell people that they need to do multitasking. You usually going to get a weird look because everybody, wait, multitasking? No, that's not bad. That's bad. You can't do multiple things at the same time, and that's actually true. You can't. But I have kind of a different twist on it. You can call it time concentration if you prefer, but it's taking one activity that you do and making it pull in different parts of life balance. For instance, I like to work out. I do karate. It's one of my passions. But I do it with my kids. I did it with my wife until she broke her leg too. But it's family time, right? Well, I'm getting a heck of a workout, so it's taking care of my physical body. It requires concentration, focus, and there's memorization, so it's really helping my mind. There's absolutely a spiritual aspect of it, of getting centered and focused, and the breathing, and really feeling your energy. So for me, there's almost a spiritual aspect of it as well. I have made business connections, networking with the people that are there and the other parents. So it's helped financially. So there's all of these different parts that I get to pull in. So this one activity that I am super hyper focused on. So I'm just doing one thing, but I'm pulling in spirituality, mental, physical, family, friends, finances, all of that in one activity. So I call it time concentration. It's how can you take one activity and pull it and make life better. It's not about doing more, it's about doing better. Another quick example is I do a lot of conference calls or sales calls and different things. Well, I have a really nice Bluetooth microphone, and I get on my cell phone, make my calls, and I walk around my neighborhood. So I'm getting some exercise, making my calls, and I'm de-stressing. Sometimes the calls can be stressful, and I'm able to look around and breathe deep and okay, and de-stress. It's fantastic. So time concentration, huge thing, and the big thing is having the mentality of life balance when you're looking at your day-to-day tasks. And how do I make what I have to do something I want to do and something that serves more than just that one task? That's really the essence of that. The next, habit stacking. There are some great books on this, but essentially take a habit that you already have, because creating a new habit is challenging. I think we've all been there where we tried to pick up a habit of working out, or we tried to stop a habit, smoking or overeating, what have you, and it can be challenging. Well, habit stacking is kind of a different take on it. It's find a habit that you already have and modify it a little bit or add on to it. The example that I like is I brush my teeth every night and every morning. I know that's probably a shock, but I have a little paper there that I stack on to my habit of brushing my teeth at night to get a glass of water for my wife. It's a little tiny thing, but it means a lot to her, because that lets her know I'm thinking about her. So it helps with family. So I said, put the water by her bed. While I'm out getting her water, I'm getting my vitamins that I like to take before bed and get myself some water. The other part is I set up my gym clothes, put them right there, next to the sink for in the morning. And so I've got all of these things that are part of that add 2 to 3 minutes to the process of brushing my teeth, but they set me up for success in the morning physically. They let my wife know that I love her and are thinking about it, and just all of that. And then in the morning when I wake up to brush my teeth, I have to put on my gym clothes before I start brushing my teeth. So now I'm already dressed. I might as well go, right? So it's little things like that make a huge difference. But there, like I said, this is just a touch on it. There are some great books on habit stacking that I can get you information on. The other is time and emotion tracking. Where am I spending my time throughout the day? I think we've probably all been there where we sit down to just check out, look at some pictures on Facebook, and then it becomes lunchtime. But track where's your time, and also track what's your emotional state. This is a tool that I use a lot. If I'm in the red and yellow, if I'm on the negative emotional side, that's taking energy and taking life away from me. I've heard it said that we're praying for what you don't want. So I thought that was fantastic. But if we can become aware that we're having that negative emotional energy and move it into the positive side, into the happy and excited, that can have huge impacts on our productivity, on our health, on everything. So huge thing. So there's a couple of items from my programs of here's real world, how do I take this life triad concept and really apply it to my life? So you're probably asking, how do I get this success? Well, I told you at the beginning, I am a math and science geek, so here's the formula for success. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, well, okay. I guess I can explain it a little bit. So in life, there are 3 options. There are actually 3 formulas. There is the do nothing. You don't have to do it. You've listened to this information, this webinar today. It's pretty good information. I like it, but not for me. And yeah, you work, you make a living, and that's fine. And that's perfectly okay as long as you do it consciously. Okay. The next is you do it yourself. You take a system like My Life Triad. Stephen Covey has great systems. Deb Cheslow has great systems. Anthony Robbins. But you take a system, you add work, and that will give you a life, a good life, right? But what we're here for is after that, a great life, that life to the third power. And for that, you need a coach. You need that accountability, to take, because accountability multiplies the system and the work. And that gives you that life to the third power. And, that's why I'm here, because we can help you. So today I want to tell you about the Future Mastery Coaching Program that we at Third Power Performance have created. This is a 12-month program. There are weekly lessons that come to your email. It's a video, and it's a step-by-step program. It's proven, it's repeatable, it's reliable. It helps give you the clarity and the focus, and helps create momentum in a positive direction. Because we're going to give you the skills, we're going to give you that accountability that's so critical, and the mentoring for the problems that you have. That's it's not just a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. And nothing is left out, nothing is assumed. We start from the beginning and we go to the end. So again, there are weekly sessions with a video and an assessment, personalized feedback that lets you know you're on the right track. You have email access to me, and all emails are personally answered by me. I don't farm it out. I'm not having somebody else do that. It's done for me. We also have monthly calls to get online, kind of have a little bit of that group coaching, mentoring kind of concept. And then there's an online closed Facebook group that you also, I call it, the mastermind, the catalyst group. So it'll help kind of bring all of that together. I know that there are many people that have been through the program. Ryan was the vice president of business creation, and he said that this was one of the best things that he had ever come across, and it delivered real results for him. So, I'm not sure why you showed up here today. If you're that high achiever looking for the extra edge, if you're just stressed out and just need a way to help reduce that, or, you're tired of all the shoulds you have in life. I think Anthony Robbins always jokes that people should all over themselves. I should do this, I should do that, I should do this. Well, what happens if every time you said, I should, you did? Well, Deb Cheslow says that. I love that. Like, what if every time you said you should, you did? And if you just want more fulfillment in life, that's why we're here. Now, there is an investment, like in any program. Now, a 90-day one-on-one coaching with me it's expensive, $6,000. A full day live seminar, you're looking anywhere around $2,000. I do have the Purposeful Professional 8-week group coaching program. It costs about $4,000, but that's not what you're going to be investing today. Today is the Future Mastery Coaching Program is $997, or if you prefer, you can do $99 per month. And that will get you access to this amazing system straightforward. Now, but that's not all. For the people that are on here today, if you want to go ahead and sign up now, you get a one-on-one hour coaching session with me. You get a copy of my new book. You also get a really nice moleskin journal that's customized for Third Power Performance, and you get the Life Triad, the GPS Planner, the Guide to Powerful Success, to help navigate your life map in an amazing and daily way. So what do you need to do? Just go to futuremasterycoaching.com. You go to the page. You can choose whether you want to pay in full or monthly payments. It'll take you through using PayPal or just straight with a regular credit card. So my question for you is, what's your plan? It reminds me of a time when I went to my happy place, the place where I go to get all of my really good ideas and all of that. It was at Barnes & Noble. And there were two gentlemen that were playing chess. And one gentleman, kind of a nondescript, professional-looking guy. The other gentleman, he looked Russian. That's all I can say. If you think Sean Connery in the movie The Hunt for Red October, he looked Russian. So I went over to watch them because I'm a bit of a chess enthusiast myself. I don't want to brag, but I was the chess champion for Inverness Middle School. And so I was watching them play, and sure enough, this was a Russian chess grandmaster that was coaching the other gentleman, on how to play chess. And the guy said, "You know what? I have to go to the restroom. Would you like to play this grandmaster?" And I'm thinking, hey, Inverness Middle School chess grand champion, bring it on, right? I'm like, of course, yes, I want to. And so we started. I made a couple of moves, moved it pawn, a couple of knights out, and the Russian guy was like, "Very good opening," right? And okay, well, and now what do I do? And so I moved one of my knights again, and I'll never forget it. This guy looked me straight in the eye. He goes, "And now I know you have no plan." It was the fourth move, and he knew I didn't know what I was doing, and he was right. And he proceeded to just wipe the board. It was the greatest game I've ever lost. It was fantastic. But I remember thinking, I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a strategy. Now, I want for you to have an amazing life. I really do. I want you to have that life to the third power. I want to help you have a plan for your life. So, go to futuremasterycoaching.com and check and do that out. We get the different bonuses that are out there, and I really do look forward to helping you, and I really do mean you, with having the amazing, amazing life. Thank you, thank you. Let's see, yeah. Roxanne, good job. If there are any questions, you can put them into the chat. I look forward to working with everyone, and I will see you at the top. Any questions? Procrastination, yes. Yeah, procrastination is a fun one, and really what helps the most with procrastination is actually the life legacy, is knowing why you're here, and what's really the kind of the driving force behind your life. It's really, if you break procrastination down, it's I don't want to deal with what I have to do. I would rather do something else. And a lot of times that something else is nothing. But there's not a strong enough why to overcome the inertia of not wanting to do the activity. So really, and that's one of the ways that I help my clients with the procrastination issue is, let's map out why it is that you want what you want, right? In my the triad framework, the foundation is on who and why. Of the 6 words, who, what, why, when, where, how, right? You've got the foundation is really who and why, because that's what you really need to know. So when you've got a strong enough why, you can overcome the inertia of not wanting to do anything. So that's really what that boils down to. Any other questions? All right. quiet group today. It's all right. Actually, probably just everybody's going to the website right now and signing up. So yeah, I've been doing this for I guess about 10 years now, unofficially, and on a actually working with clients over the past about 7 or 8 years, and have helped a number of people, overcome, business issues and personal issues. I've had a couple of people that have told me that it really helps them connect with their kids again. Some of the things about trying to integrate the children into your business life actually has helped a number of people overcome some, where it's like they just felt completely separated. They had to work, and then that was it. So it's actually there are a couple of different things, depending on the job that you have, where you can actually bring your kids into the work that you have, more than just, bring your kid to work kind of thing, but actually get them involved in it. And, here's why I do what I do, and kind of go into that a little bit more in detail. All right, well, if we don't have any additional questions, we are at our time. So I want to thank everybody for coming today. I definitely appreciate it. And if I can be of any assistance whatsoever, please, you can even reply to the email that was sent out with your notification, and I will be sending out a follow-up email to everyone with a recording of this, so you can listen to it again if you need to. But until then, thank you very much, and have a great day, and live life to the third power.